Amit Bhardwaj, in fact, is joining us right now. Amit, we saw you were right there. Give us a sense of who those protesters were. One woman said her name is Neelam. What was the reason for the protest? What more can you tell us?
Well, Sneha, I was the only journalist on the ground who spoke to the protesters who were protesting right outside the Parliament complex at Transport Bhavan. Neelam was the name of the woman who was the first to burst the cracker out here. You can see the spot right outside the Parliament complex at the Transport Bhavan. You can see the color spots out here. What we are given to understand that 2 firecrackers were used at this particular spot, and yellow color fumes were coming out of those firecrackers. We also heard little bursts of sorts which happened here, and after that they started raising slogans. What were those slogans? Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Jai Bhim, and Tanasahi Nahi Chalegi. So they were constantly raising 2 slogans, Jai Bhim, Tanasahi Nahi Chalegi. After that, I chased the police while they were, detaining the women named Neelam as well as the other person who was protesting out here. Neelam told me that, because their rights are being curbed, that is why they were protesting here outside the Parliament, and they do not belong to any specific organization. Because the biggest question right now that arises is that, was this a coordinated effort, Sneha? Because, one spot outside the Parliament, 2 individuals, 1 woman, 1 man. The woman protester was named Neelam. They were protesting outside here, raising slogans, bursting firecrackers. And inside the Parliament, similar visuals coming out, where in Lok Sabha, 2 individuals tried to jump into the
Amit, I want to know from you. Amit, you said that her name was Neelam and she said we are protesting because of the violation of our rights. I know she was being taken away at that point in time. But did you get any sense from her what exactly was the grouse really? And like you said, there were 2 incidents. We don't know yet if both of them were linked, but color gas was used in both of these incidents. In Lok Sabha, inside and outside.
Absolutely right. 2 things which needs to be ascertained right now. The protest happened inside the Parliament, inside the Lok Sabha, as well as outside the Parliament. If you look at the modus operandi of the protest, it looks similar. Color crackers, fumes are being used inside the Parliament as well, outside the Parliament as well. Similar kind of slogans that were raised at both inside Parliament, outside the Parliament. I did ask Neelam as to what was the specific reason as to why they were protesting, why they decided to, carry out such a protest outside the Parliament, that too on a day which is considered on the day on which the Parliament was attacked 22 years back. Neelam said that, kept on saying that because our rights are being curbed, because there's a crackdown on our rights, that is why we are protesting. Do they belong to any specific organization? That question remains unanswered. However, as per this particular protester, Neelam, what she told us is that she does not belong to any particular organization, and she kept on raising slogans of Jai Bhim, Tanasahi Nahi Chalegi, and Bharat Mata Ki Jai. We are again bringing you these visuals from right outside the Parliament. 2 different individuals burst firecrackers out here, and yellow fumes were coming out of that, the firecrackers which were burst out here. And first, the women protester named Neelam was detained by the police. She was being taken away. In that time itself, another protester, young man, jumped into the entire area. He also burst a similar cracker. Out of his fumes were coming out, and further policemen rushed to the spot to, to escort them out. And through this particular area, out here as well, as if you look at the spot, you can see the remains of that firecracker which was burst out here, yellow fumes which were coming out of that firecracker.
I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now, trying to get a word from Rahul Gautam as well. Rahul, the biggest concern is that there has been a breach inside Lok Sabha from the shoe. The canister was pulled out. That's what the MPs have been saying. The security requires us to leave our bags, our phones, everything else. But essentially, metal detectors wouldn't have picked up this thing that this man, Sagar, had inside his shoe.
Absolutely, Sneha. You rightly pointed out that this is now turning into a massive security breach, given the fact that not just inside the parliament, one can't really protest outside the parliament also when parliament is in session. And as my colleague Amit was also telling us, two separate incidents have happened, one right outside the parliament near Transport Bhavan. Now this Transport Bhavan gate is the one gate which is actually used by member of parliaments to enter into the parliament premises along with journalists.
Congress MP Manikam Tagore is also with us. Manikam Tagore, what really happened there? Were you right there when the security breach happened?
Yeah, it is very shocking to see that the Parliament, on a historic day when Parliament was attacked by the terrorists, again we are witnessing the same kind of breach again. And this is that also inside this house, that also from the well. Two of the youngsters jumped from there and they were throwing. They were having smoke making, some kind of this thing. There was chaos there. We were stunned to see that when the house was functioning, this happened. And the new parliament, which was supposed to be the secured thing with modern facilities, whatever it has been called, we saw it in our eyes. What was that security? What was the high tech? What was the things? Everything were just on the mat, and we were just taken back. And the house, the chairman Agarwal, has to abruptly adjourn the house because there was chaos in the parliament. Inside the members
To
are
know from
running
you,
just
Mr.
there.
Manikam Tagore, how many seconds did it take before the security then came in and then detained these two men inside Lok Sabha?
The thing is, it is not second and others, madam. It is not a. It is the house of people and parliament, inside the house. It is not seconds or minutes. It is
Trying to get in a sense of how quickly were these people then just taken away? Because this could have been far worse, sir, from what we understand.
This has never happened. This has never happened. It can't be. You can't take like this. That it is within how many seconds it has happened or what has happened and others is not a responsible way. It is an attack on the parliament, and responsible people has to be responsible. It can't be like this, and it's a very, very shameful day for us. And when parliament itself is not safe, what else will be safe in the country?
Visitors gallery is from where these two people jumped in, and then as we see in these pictures, what more can you tell us? One person who's been detained, we know is Sagar. He goes by the name of Sagar. Did you pick up anything else from the security there about the other person? Is there any detail that you can share with us, Mr. Tagore?
We all left from there. We left the parliament. We were, because the security officials was requesting us to leave the parliament only because they have to do their duty, because we can't be just obstructing their duty to be done. There is a big breach in the parliament. Therefore, it is very unfortunate that it should not have happened on the day when 22 years it has happened. Now it should not be. We should just look at it and not only system that we have been secured and we have been Vishwaguru, all these kind of words. We should be responsible now.
All right, I'm going to thank you, Mr. Tagore, for joining us.